Tonight, it's an all-out battle between Harvard University and the Trump administration. The White House accusing the school of not addressing anti-Semitism on campus.
We unfortunately saw that illegal discrimination take place on the campus of Harvard. There are countless examples to prove it.
The Department of Education freezing more than $2 billion in federal money after Harvard refused to accept a long list of demands taking aim at its culture and curriculum. The school's defiance being embraced by some on campus.
I think it was so important because this attack on Harvard wasn't just an attack on Harvard, it's an attack on higher education. And in that sense, it's an attack on a pillar of American civil society.
Today, President Trump also threatening to revoke the university's tax-exempt status, accusing the school of pushing political, ideological, and terrorist-inspired sickness. Harvard University's president says the school has taken steps to address anti-Semitism on campus and calls the federal government's tactics a violation of the school's First Amendment rights. Former President Barack Obama weighing in today, applauding Harvard's decision. Harvard has set an example for other higher ed institutions, rejecting an unlawful and ham-handed attempt to stifle academic freedom. Federal funding has been paused for schools around the country, including Columbia, Penn, Princeton, and Northwestern. The money being used as a cudgel to try to force cultural change. Harvard has the largest endowment of them all, over $53 billion. But there are restrictions over how that money can be spent. So pulling federal grants will still hurt. And the whole country will feel it, according to the president of the American Council on Education.
This freeze will hamper Harvard's ability to produce new technologies, new biomedical discoveries, new outreach in public health. We will be in worse shape as a nation because of these freezes.
All right, Stephanie joins us now in studio. And Stephanie, Harvard is lawyering up, and they're getting attorneys with conservative credentials?
Yeah, they are. They haven't filed a lawsuit yet, but they've hired these two high-profile Republican attorneys. One, the former deputy counsel for President George W. Bush. The other, the former special counsel who investigated Joe Biden and his handling of classified documents. So it seems like they're getting ready to go to court, Tom.
All right, Stephanie Gosk leaving us off tonight. Stephanie, we thank you for that.
Tonight, a new escalation in the fight between the Trump administration and the federal court system.
I will not stop fighting until I see my husband alive.
Late today, the wife of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the father of three deported to a mega prison in El Salvador, walked into a Maryland courthouse where a judge demanded to know what the federal government has done to abide by a court order to return him to the U.S., saying there will be no tolerance for gamesmanship or grandstanding. The White House is arguing that Abrego Garcia was not mistakenly deported. That contradicts earlier statements from a Justice Department prosecutor and the Solicitor General, who acknowledged his deportation had been an administrative error.
He's from El Salvador, so that's a decision up to El Salvador.
Legal experts say the case is about much more than just one deportee and raises questions about due process for anyone in the U.S.
Abrego Garcia was a foreign terrorist. He is an MS-13 gang member. He was engaged in human trafficking. He illegally came into our country. And so deporting him back to El Salvador was always going to be the end result.
But Abrego Garcia has never been criminally convicted in either country. He did enter the U.S. illegally in 2011. But in 2019, an immigration judge determined he should not be deported to his native El Salvador because he might face danger. Another judge agreed evidence showed Abrego Garcia was a member of MS-13, but his attorneys argue that was based on questionable testimony from a confidential informant.
No evidence has been submitted about this allegation, proving this allegation.
The Supreme Court has ruled the Trump administration must facilitate Abrego Garcia's return to the U.S., but the Department of Homeland Security said today if he does show up at a port of entry, the U.S. would either deport him to another country or remove his protected status and send him back to El Salvador. The legal fight is quickly becoming a test case for the limits of presidential power and the country's system of checks and balances.
They need to comply with the Supreme Court's directive, or the Supreme Court needs to enforce its order aggressively, which should include contempt.
And Gabe, the judge was pretty clear today. She wants to move quickly. What are the next steps here?
Yes, Tom. She wants Trump administration officials to submit evidence and depositions within 2 weeks. Attorneys for Abrego Garcia are asking for the administration to be held in contempt for its inaction. And today, the judge suggested that she would consider that. Tom?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.